Thank you. Thank you. I have known Major General for many years. He graduated from Fordham College with a BA and a commission as a second lieutenant in the Army. On active duty, he served as an infantry and intelligence advisor in South Vietnam. Upon his return, he earned an MBA from Iona College. He continued his military service as a reserve component soldier. He was the Chief of Staff for training for an Army Reserve Command and attended the Army War College. After promotion to Brigadier General, he was assigned as the Deputy Commanding General for the Army Reserve in New England. In 2001, he was promoted to Major General and assumed command of the 77th Regional Readiness Command, which included 10,500 soldiers and civilians in New York and New Jersey. After the attacks of 9/11, he was the first senior military officer on the ground in Lower Manhattan and placed 1,000 soldiers on duty to support rescue and recovery operations. His command also trained and deployed over 7,000 soldiers to the Mideast to support the war on terror. Major General Colt retired from the Army in 2005. His many decorations include the Distinguished Service Medal, 2 Legions of Merit, Bronze Star, Combat Infantryman Badge, Army Superior Unit Citation, and citations from the New York City Fire and Port Authority Police Departments. Please welcome Major General Richard Colt.
Mayor Brampton, great words, great comments, heartfelt, well received by all of us who served. To the veterans here, not only welcome home, but thank you for your service, and God bless you. And tell your loved ones thanks for their service also, because they served with us through better times than what many of us had. Pete, Dennis, your committee members, thank you for doing it. That is an absolutely marvelous monument. That hits the heart right off. Fitting that we do this celebration, this memorial, this remembrance at the end of Memorial Day weekend, which is the day in the year when we honor our beloved honored dead. So who does this memorial represent? First, of course, the men of New Rochelle, who made the ultimate sacrifice. On a larger scale, it represents the 2.7 million who served during that conflict. 2.7 million veterans of the Vietnam conflict. 10% of the population of the United States during that time. We were not termed the greatest generation. That honor belongs to our fathers. But most of us, many of us, were the sons and daughters of that great generation, of that greatest generation. We grew up listening to their stories of honor, of courage, of sacrifice, of love between brothers, of giving all. And when our time came, we answered that call. We answered that call. So for me, the men and women who serve, we're not the greatest generation. I truly believe we are the best of our generation. That all of you who are veterans, you are the best. And I would serve alongside you again any day. But I can't go through windows or doors like I used to. not all our comrades, not all our friends, not all our loved ones came home. So who were our dead? Not just the names listed on your monument there and honored with gorgeous monument. Our deads, the youngest was 15 and a New Yorker who obviously lied about his age. Our oldest was 62. And how he stayed in that area, I have no idea. We had more than 58,000 dead. 8 of those, and very seldom remembered or recognized, 8 of those were Army nurses, young women, in the prime of their life, who went there to take care of us, of our wounded, to comfort them, give them a touch of home. 53,000 of the 58, of the more than 58, were soldiers and Marines. The remainder, Air Force and Navy, and 1 Coast Guard. During the years 66 to 70, 5 years, more than 52,000 dead. In 1968, for those of you who were there, the worst year on record. We had 304,000 Whiskey India Alpha wounded in action. Roughly 1 in 10 military person who went to Vietnam became a casualty, wounded or dead. And a statistic very seldom said. 70% of those who died were volunteers, not draftees. Volunteers. Okay? Were not forced to go, chose to serve. We just had the MIA ceremony. As of April of this year, there are still 1,611 MIA. So thank you for that tribute to them. All our states and every territory had casualties. 23 states had more than 1,000 each. California first, New York second, Texas and Ohio, the 4 highest casualty rates during that war. So what did we do in Vietnam? What did we do? We never lost a major engagement, and all of you veterans sit there who served then, stand tall with that and know that. Not one single engagement of any importance did we lose. Did you lose? Never. 240 medals of honor, 154 of those posthumously. That talks about love of brothers, to give your life for a brother. 97% of us were discharged with honorable discharge. But you know what? And you'll remember this, and I'm sure I'll see some heads nod. We lost the war, right? We didn't lose the war. South Vietnamese lost the darn war. Okay? You did not lose the war at all. But we were considered losers, right? You know, we were vilified, we were ignored. But what were we after the war? Well, less Vietnam vet unemployment than the national average. Income, on average, higher than the national average. No difference in drug use for the rest of the population. Less likely to go to jail, half of 1% of us. And thank God for organizations like the American Legion and the VFW and the Vietnam Vets of America who stepped up to help remove the stigma that had been imposed on all of you unfairly. Unfairly. research, 74% of those who were interviewed in this one poll said they would serve again. I find that amazing, but God bless them all who said yes. But on a sadder note, our war, Vietnam, is still claiming our lives, still causing casualties in all of our neighborhoods and cities across the country. Wounds received long ago, still killing them. And if I remember the number right, 97 names have been added to the wall in Washington in the last 2 years. But people died from wounds received. Agent Orange, still killing us. The other toxins, still taking us down. Unresolved PTSD issues cause hardship for families of vets and oftentimes terror for the veteran when he remembers. The curse of a great country, terrible health care by the Veterans Administration, where our people have died waiting to be cared for. Health disability claims, long waits. Guys die, women die. Families are left without the monetary awards they should have. So in a very real way, the struggle to survive goes on. And I heard, Mayor, I have no idea what the issue with the armory is. Okay. Obviously emotional. So I got to side with the guys. Otherwise, I might not make it home. On days like today, at events like this, I kind of think about a speech that resonates not only when it was first given, but if you think about today, you think about where our soldiers and Marines and Airmen and Coast Guard and Air Force people are, and all the wars that we've fought, and all the places we've died, and all the places we're buried, that it's a speech given by one of our greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln. And he gave it at a place called Gettysburg, which was the turning point of the Civil War. And he gave it on November 19th, 1863. And while that's a long time ago in the midst of our great Civil War, place the words of this in any context you want, given our service and where we fought. And I just need to get it so it doesn't blow away. And I didn't it's not the whole speech. It was 2 minutes long and still remembered. It's probably one of the best speeches ever made by any president. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, and I added women because I've had them die too, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Those challenges remain with us today. So I ask that you remember and honor our dead, as you are doing, and this has been a marvelous ceremony. But as importantly, remember the living, particularly those who need our help to heal the pain and the wounds, mental and physical, they still suffer. You know, the phrase up there, all gave some gave all, pretty much came out of Vietnam, but it's appropriate to any war, any place, any warrior. Some gave all, but all gave some. And all of you will remember that. So in closing, Mayor, thank you for accepting this. Pete, Dennis, the committee, thank you for the hard work. I know, I lost 6 on 9/11, and we raised a memorial to them. And I know it's not easy. So God bless you for that service. Oh, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for caring. And thank you for supporting. So God bless our servicemen and women around the world. God bless you veterans. God bless the United States of America.